Hey everyone, welcome to Vlogmas Day 2. So this video is going to be a little bit different than like a regular Vlogmas video. I guess everybody has their own ideas, but different than what my idea is that these videos are going to be like. So I told you yesterday that I have been filming for probably the last 3 weeks for like all of my DIYs for Christmas decor. And so what I wanted to do today is put all of that in one video. It's lengthy, I'm just warning you. That way we are all caught up on the decor, and starting tomorrow with my favorite things party, and then moving forward from there, the closer we get to Christmas, we can just be all caught up, have all the decor stuff out of the way. Everything can be present day because obviously a lot of this is from when I filmed before. But that way we can have just kind of a fresh slate to everything, and you can see literally what I am doing day to day. So with all that being said, this video is jam-packed. It took me probably, let's see, I started at 6 this morning. It's 4 right now. Math. It took me probably 8 hours to edit this video totally today. Just to make sure that you guys had everything that you needed. And again, everything was up to date. So I hope you love it. I hope you gain some inspiration, and it's already long, so I'm not gonna add anything else as far as what our day is. I have a house full of kids coming in an hour and a half, and I need to start cooking. So you'll have this video now, that way I don't have to do any editing after everybody leaves, because they probably won't be gone here today until about 10:30 tonight. And that way you can watch it tonight, and come tomorrow, we will be ready to go into actual day in the life vlogs. So again, I hope you love it. I loved doing it, I loved filming it, and I'm really happy with it and proud of it, and I hope you will be as well. This year was ridiculous when it came to trees, garland, and Christmas lights. Both of our main trees did not light up, so we had to replace them. Our outdoor lights for our driveway didn't work in the middle, and the light garland for the gym only lit up half of the strand. So, needless to say, the devil had his hand in the decor bucket this year. Sam and Christian helped me get the tree up after we realized later on a Saturday night that the previous one was not going to work. And they were super excited about it, as you can see. But once we did that, I went ahead and fluffed the tree. What I suggest doing is fluffing it in sections. I had them put about 2 sections together, and then I went ahead and fluffed that and then added the rest afterwards. But the other parts I fluff actually from the floor. And then that way when I give that to whoever's going to help me hang the rest of it up, then I don't have to crawl up there and fluff on top of that. So what I would also say is that fluffing your tree is by far the best thing that you can do to make your tree appear as real as possible. It takes time, but it is so worth the time and effort in the overall appearance of the tree. My number one tip when doing this is to wear dishwashing gloves so that you can save your hands and your arms. We have a 10-foot tree, and the ladder that we have, as you can see, it would not get as close as I needed it to string the bead garland that was going on the tree. So I took a stick that I had. It's like a walking stick that I found, and I keep it here for my father-in-law. And I put a screw in the side of it, and I used that as my hands to get the really tall areas of the tree. And then that way I could make sure and get it on the branches that I needed it to, and not have to worry about falling off the ladder into the tree.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this
The
is my
bead part
favorite
is done, and what I wanted to tell you was when you go back, so when you're going around your tree and you're kind of draping and whatever, always go back and make sure that it doesn't look like your tree is leaning. So oftentimes as you're kind of spinning around and whatever, you don't realize that you are going at an angle. And so oftentimes when I go and stand back to kind of see what it looks like from afar, I notice that my bead line is going down the tree. And so it kind of appears like a parking garage almost, where like the line around the tree, you can kind of see it leaning down. So just make sure that you go back and kind of eyeball it every now and again, just to make sure that you kind of have a pretty balanced line throughout. But this part is done now, and now for the bulbs. Every year before I decorate my tree, I go ahead and lay all of my ornaments out so that I can see exactly what I have, exactly what I love, what I don't love, what I want to eliminate as far as donating. So a lot of times I will give things to my mom or friends, or if no one wants that specific thing, then I will just go ahead and donate it to the thrift store. So as I'm looking at this, these right here, I got this year, these gold balls, and I'm going to show you here in just a little bit a really quick DIY for how to make these look just a little bit more expensive than they currently do by just swapping out that kind of top piece right here. So I'll show you that in just a minute. And then everything else I have already had, with the exception of, where are they? Oh, here we are. These bells and these right here. So actually, this whole section right here is new this year because I wanted to add a little bit of outdoorsy feel to it. So I wanted some different wood textures and metals. These right here are a great buy. So they were $5.99, 50% off because they were at Hobby Lobby. But bells are expensive and they're really in right now and last year. So for, let's see, $5.99, 50% off, you get 4 bells. And they're really, really pretty. Like, they're high quality. They're not flimsy, they're heavy, and I just love them. But what I'm going to do is take them off. Like, you can use them, you can unwind this part and use them as picks in something, or you can use it just as one stem. But like I said, I'm going to take them all off and individually hang them. These right here I got from Amazon. They came in a pack of, I do not even remember, 20, maybe 25. So I'm going to use those. And then these right here I got from Walmart. And I just took off the twine hanger and I'm going to put on some black ribbon and hang them that way. And then everything else is from last year. So these balls right here are a DIY from last year. All of the colored ones here are. These over here are all from last year. These right here I am not loving. So I would have to say I do not look at these and feel joy. So we are going to go ahead and eliminate these here. All right, so we've got those out of the picture. And then I have a lot of silver that I don't know that I want. So what I think I'm going to do is eliminate some of these right here. They're kind of, I don't know, they're pretty flimsy, and I'm not loving them when I look at them. So I'm going to eliminate kind of this section right here. And then the heavier ones that are silver, I think I'm going to take some Rub and Buff and just go over those with that. That way it kind of gives it a little bit of a goldish silver texture, or color rather, because I don't want to totally remove them. Like, I really, really love them. I just need them to be a little bit more on the gold side. And then I'm also going to do a DIY. I want to make, they're similar to these right here, but they're a little bit more on the kind of velvet feel for really, really cheap. I found these plastic ornaments at the Dollar Tree and thought that they would be perfect for the DIY that I wanted to do for the ornaments that I had seen online that I did not want to pay for. So I sprayed the ornament with spray paint, and the color that I used was kind of a really milky, creamy white. And then I sprinkled flour just from the kitchen on top of that and tapped off any of the excess. That way it didn't appear like in a big pile of flour on top of the ornament. After that, I followed it with a clear coat of spray paint just immediately after all over the ornament. And then while those were drying, I sprayed the silver hanger caps with a combination of gold and copper spray paint just to give them a real vintage aged look.
And I've been longing to hold you close, forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da.
All right, so I want to make these look a little bit more expensive than they do because of this right here. I just feel like this kind of takes away from the high-end look of the bulb itself. So I wanted to show you a really inexpensive way to kind of zhuzh this up. I bought these at home, and they were in a pack of 6, and I paid $6.99 for them. And then I got these in a pack of 12 for $3.99, I think it was. So all I'm going to do is pop this off, maybe, and then I'm going to pop this one off, and it will just fit right into the top just like this. Now you could leave it exactly like that if that was the look that you were going for, or if the gold top was what you wanted next to the gold ball. But for me, I want it to look a little bit more rustic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Rub and Buff, because you guys know I'm obsessed with this, and I cannot find my other one that I had the other day, so I'm gonna have to open this new one. And then all I'm going to do is just rub that on the top of it with a paper towel. You can use whatever you want to use. I wouldn't suggest using your finger, just because it's going to stay on your fingers. It's pretty much like paint, essentially. And then all this is doing is just coloring the gold and turning it black. So it's just a really inexpensive way to kind of swap something out and make it look a lot different for hardly any money at all. So I'm just, and it doesn't have to be covered all of the way because I want it to look a little bit more vintage and kind of worn on the top there. So this is actually perfect. And then all we're going to do is just take this and squeeze it into the top. Normally I would grab it by the thing, but I don't want to get my other finger wet. And there you go. It just totally changed the look of that because now I can see the contrast between the actual bulb and the fastener. And it took hardly any time at all. And now we're ready to hang them on the tree. I was not loving the shininess that these ornaments were giving off, so I really quick took some ebony rub and buff, just rubbed it over the top of that, and created a very much more muted appearance, and it just kind of dulled down the shiny that I was not in love with. I got these black bulbs from At Home. They were $4.99. And I wanted to just kind of give them a very weathered, distressed look, but not have to do a lot to get there. So I want to show you really quick. I already did one, and it looks like this. So per the usual, I used my European Rub and Buff, European Gold, to rub onto these ornaments just to totally change the appearance and give it a much higher end look. I like that you can still see the black coming from behind it, but that the black is not the dominant color. Also, as you can see, changing the color of the silver hanger that is original to the ornament, it makes it look not only vintage, but it also leans it more to a much more expensive ornament that you would buy in a store. Originally, I was just going to spray paint the tops of these ornaments gold, but I had some ornaments that I wasn't using, so I just popped off that cap and put it on these. So I've already kind of started the process just a little bit in here. First, I'm going to show you the mantle. I've got everything cleaned off of it, and I know there's a lot of controversy around this, but this is how I do it. I put just finishing nails on my mantle. This is wood, and so I can just put painter's putty or wood putty in there at the end of the season and just kind of sand buff it off and paint right over it, and it is just like brand new. So this is what I do. I just kind of tap that in here, and then I put floral wire around those, and that way when I'm hanging my garland, I know that it's not gonna fall off of my mantle. This year I'm doing something a little bit different with my garland. I am going to do some layering. Usually I just use one piece of garland over the top, but I really kind of wanted to switch things up a little bit and try something new. So I am actually going to be doing 3 different layers of stuff. So I have got these 2 garland strands that are pre-lit. They are from Walmart. They're 9 feet. And I will link everything that I can in this video down below, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to keep saying that over and over in the video because that kind of annoys me when people do that. So just know to look in the comments and you'll be able to find everything that I could find to link for you. These right here, I know everybody pushes a floral who is an influencer, you know, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I have a really hard time paying that kind of money for garland. Like I don't care how good it is or where it came from, like whatever. I just have a really hard time paying that. So I got the dupe from Kirkland's, and I mean it literally looks the same as all of the afloral ones that everybody is showing online. So just a little bit of a money saver there. And then over here I got this eucalyptus, and it comes kind of in a garland form, and I'm going to be weaving that in throughout as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put up these 2 strands of my Walmart garland, and I'm going to get that up and wired in and fluffed out, and then I'll show you what that looks like, and then we will move on to the Norfolk pine, and then on to the eucalyptus to finish off the garland part, and then I'll show you kind of how I'm going to incorporate some ribbon and bells to do the overall finishing touch. Once the base garland was hung, I added the Norfolk pine as well as the eucalyptus, just lacing it in together just to create a really full and cohesive look. These candles are a staple in my living room at this point, so I put them back on the mantle. I just love the simplicity and the peaceful feeling that they bring to this space. Also, I just didn't feel like I needed to add a whole lot more to the mantle because I wanted the garland to be the absolute center of that wall, and I didn't want anything else to distract from the appearance. I found this strand of bell garland at Hobby Lobby, and I didn't like the bright gold look, so you guessed it, Rub and Buff to the rescue. These, as well as some satin ribbon, is what will go on the end of each of my garland strand in the living room. All right, I've got that part done. We've got the mantle almost done. I need to grab a couple bells for that and then the ribbon. And then tie that up there, and that will be finished off really fast. I need to fix those lamps because they are not center now since I had to move my couch over. But that is really quick. The coffee table is a little bit, Daisy's clearly having a moment right now, but the coffee table is a little bit on the struggle bus. I don't want a ton of stuff on it this year because I've got the tree going on to the left, and then I have the garland, which is more substantial this year than in years past. And I do not want it to feel cluttered. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves about holiday decor, is it can become very cluttered very quickly. And I want to be able to like still walk in this space like I do all year round and feel peace and calm, and not like the room is literally trying to eat me alive. So I think what I want to do is just add a little bit of greenery to this bowl. I got this bowl at Ross a couple days ago, and I really, really like it because it's black on the outside and gold on the inside. But I think that I need a little bit of greenery just to, number one, kind of fill in the space. Number two, create some texture, but also to differentiate between, like, especially this bulb. It just blends into that way too easily. These bulbs I got at Hobby Lobby this year. And then this right here is just a strand of wooden garland from, I think, Walmart a few years ago, but I know they have all kinds of different ones like that. And so I kind of have it just draped off the side, and I think I'll keep it that way. I think it will look a lot better once I get the greenery in there. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then over here, I just have Gibby and Libby's books. You guys know, if you've been around here very long, that I do Elf on the Shelf every year. So if you are not following me on Instagram, absolutely go over there and follow along, because I post these every single day from Thanksgiving. So they come Thanksgiving night. So the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, which I do not participate in, they show up into town. And so I have been doing this for like 12, 13 years now. And I post on Instagram every single day, so you guys can just have a little bit of holiday cheer. But again, if you are not following on Instagram, that is the only place that I post them. So jump over there, but this is what we do. So I love it. It's extremely fulfilling for me. I enjoy it. My kids enjoy it. I ask them every year because they are 15 and 17. Like, do you want me to still do it? I won't do it if you think it's lame. And every year they tell me that they still want to do it. I think some of it also, well, I know that they really enjoy it, but I think some of it is they don't want to make me sad by not doing it anymore. But yet then I have people message me all year round telling me, hey, I saw this idea on Pinterest and whatever. So in all of these years, I have yet to repeat one. So that's pretty exciting. I've got my spreadsheet ready and the elves are ready to go. So again, jump over there so that you don't miss out. This right here, I actually DIY'd this year, and I'm going to pop in a little clip showing you how I did that right here. I want to continue to use this plate for my candle in the living room. However, I need it to be raised a little bit because of the different low-lying things that I'm going to have on the coffee table. Because of the amount of stuff that is going to be in the living room as far as the tree and the garland, I want very minimal things on the coffee table because otherwise it just becomes all encompassing and very overwhelming to try to know what to look at and all the things. So I found a really good candlestick from Hobby Lobby. I think this was $4.99, and then it was on sale, or maybe $4.99 was the sale and it was like $8 or something. I don't know. But it was very inexpensive. I loved it because it's gold and it looks like branches. But then it also really goes well with the gold detail that is around this plate. I got this plate in the fall from Walmart. Again, really inexpensive. And all I'm going to do is just get some glue, and I am going to just glue that to the bottom there. And then it's going to be just on a riser. This would actually be a really great DIY as well if you wanted to give somebody this as a gift or like a housewarming gift. You could put like cookies on it, or anything to serve, but it would be super inexpensive. I think the plate was like $4 maybe at Walmart. I know they still have them. And then again, this down here, really inexpensive. So I'm going to get this glued, and then we will move on to our next project. Also over here, I forgot to show you the nutcracker. I absolutely love nutcrackers, which is kind of funny because I absolutely hated the actual nutcracker show or production or whatever you want to call it. Was literally bored out of my gourd. Zero talking, and it was not my thing. But I am in love with just the simplicity of nutcrackers, and also the intricacy that there can be, as you will see in my dining room. I found this nutcracker this year at Hobby Lobby, and all I did to him was I just tied some bells onto him. And it just kind of looks like he's dragging a bunch of bells along with him. Just kind of spiced it up since it was wood on wood. It just kind of needed a little bit more dimension to it. And I think that really did the trick. So, all right, so those are the things that I need to focus on in this room. And that won't take me long at all to be able to just kind of tie that together. And then this room will be done. I'm curious to hear from all of you if you change up your Christmas decor every year, or if you do the same thing from year to year. Growing up, we always had the same decorations. It was exciting to open up the box and look at all of that. But I just feel like with now having Pinterest and the internet, that it's a little bit more exciting to just kind of switch things up and do something different. I hung this wreath with some simple black ribbon, and I just hooked a small 3M hook at the top of the frame so that it would be concealed and not noticed. I did not want to put it right in the middle of the frame because I just didn't think that would look very natural. I found these ornaments a couple years ago on Amazon, and I thought that they would be perfect if hung on the branches that I kept in this space from my fall decor. I love how they look. They are just this really pretty kind of gold glass. They look very rustic. They look like something that you would find in an antique store or in someone's attic. And I just think that they add a very simplistic and delicate look to something that could maybe otherwise be a little bit abrasive. This is a much larger, I guess, arrangement, you could say. It's not really a floral arrangement, but kind of, sorta. And I just think that it really kind of tones down the aggressiveness that branches could be. If you heard that bell, I would love it if you would comment down below our word of the day, which is elves. Show me that you are still here in this part of the video, and just show a little bit of love for the content that you've seen so far today. You guys know that I absolutely love these candlesticks. I have them all throughout my house. They're from Amazon, and I actually did end up going back and painting them kind of a greenish gray color, which I will show you in another video. I really liked the Anthropologie Minka vase when it came out last year, but I could not justify the price for it. So this year I decided to DIY my own. I sprayed a vase that I got at Walmart at their summer clearance sale with some black spray paint just to cover up all of that blue. That way it wouldn't show through what else I was doing. I took some chunky yarn that I had from a previous project and just started tying double knots about 1.5 inches apart. You don't want them tight. You want them to be very loose, yet not a lot of holes in them, if that makes sense. Like, you want them tight enough to where you can't really see through the knot, but you don't want them tight like a shoelace. After that, I mixed some cornstarch and paint, just regular acrylic paint that I got from Walmart, and painted the pot. I then added Mod Podge to the mixture and dipped the yarn in, making sure that it was all fully coated. And then I just wrapped the strands around the vase, making sure that the lines were as even as possible. I used these bulbs last year in our loft decor, and I was kind of done with the color scheme by this year. And I am not at all embarrassed to say that I used Rub and Buff once again to change the appearance, and that way I could use them again this year, but that they would take on a totally new vibe and just blend in much better to the color scheme that I have now. And everything would just kind of marry together.
I feel nimble, did you hear something from the chimney? A little grin. We will be alright. This holiday will open our mind. I only want to be close to you. No one else here does what you do. Let's start a fire, it's getting cold. Let's make a bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe.
I decided not to use the silver bulbs on my living room tree and instead use them in a bowl with some ribbon tied onto the hanger. I did use ebony rub and buff to change the color of the hanger itself, just to give it more contrast and a worn look, but I did not feel like, because what I was using it for, I needed to change the beauty of the silver itself. Silver is not one of my main decor colors in my home, but I feel like with what else it's going to be around, that this would still be perfect in the space.
Merry Christmas Day. A Merry Christmas Day. Oh, yeah. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as we walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Yeah, a Merry Christmas Day. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas Day.
I kept the loft pretty minimal for the most part. The space isn't huge, even though it has plenty of windows. It kind of appears bigger than it is sometimes, but I also didn't want to take away from the beauty that the outdoors adds to this space.
Summer's long gone, baby. The first snow is about to fall. Everybody's waiting for what's to come. We gather round the chimney, sitting close to keep us warm. The mistletoe is hanging at the door. Christmas is the time to set your mind and spirit free. Everybody smiling while we decorate the tree. If I could, I wish for you to spend Christmas here with me. Tell me, can you feel it? There is loving in the air. No more feeling lonely or in despair. We give out the presents, they keep coming back for more.
I found this pine cone at Savers and I knew that I could make it look much more expensive and high-end than it did at that moment. one quick update and it became the focal point of a really beautiful centerpiece. I ended up not using the white bulbs because they kind of took on the look of Easter eggs, which is a totally different holiday. I originally thought that I was going to use this centerpiece in the living room, but then ended up moving it into the dining room where it just fits so much better in that space. This kind of started to take over the area and take away from the tree and the mantle, whereas in the dining room, it can kind of be its own thing on the center of the table.
If I could, I wish that you'd spend Christmas here with me. It's December again, I can't believe it. Whatever happened to the rest of the year? It went by so fast, I barely did see it. Now I'm calling all angels high, if you are there, help me find the Christmas spirit again. The Christmas spirit again. That warm place in my heart that was there from the start. I want that Christmas spirit again. I find myself wandering downtown, window shopping, listening to the sound from some street crier caroling through the air, and the smell of the big Christmas tree in the square. Here comes the Christmas spirit.
All right, here's the final touch on the garland. I just tied this ribbon. It's actually the same ribbon that I used on the front porch. It just has a really pretty velvet texture. And then these are the bells that I used the rub and buff on. I just tied here at the end, and then as I came up, I just kind of wound it inside there. I didn't tie a knot, but as you can see, I just kind of threaded it through. And then I did that all the way up, and it's basically just kind of folded in half around the hook that is there on the mantle, and then it just cascades down this way. And then the ribbon up here, I just tied pretty much in a knot, and it's more or less just kind of laying right there. It's not really tied. Here are the ornaments on the tree. And I actually ended up using a few of these because I had too many for that bowl, so we put those up there. Here are the gold ones that we just kind of eliminated the shine on. And Here's a black one. Here is how the vase turned out. And I actually like this one better than the anthropology one, in my opinion. But I couldn't find any greenery that I liked and that was full enough for this space. This countertop is pretty big in size, and I needed something that was going to span a significant amount of area. So what I did was I took one of the garland strands from Kirkland's that I used on the mantle, and I just separated it into two sections. So there are, basically I cut it in half and just put it in here, and it looks real. I've had quite a few people think that this was real until I told them otherwise, but I really like it. It turned out great, and I just put it on a wooden tray that I got from Hobby Lobby this year. I've got my candles over here next to it. I think I am probably going to paint these as well. You may come back tomorrow and find that they're painted, because I feel like in this space, because my cabinetry is white, they get lost in that, and you don't notice them as much as you would if they were a different color. And then over here, I kept it very, very minimal. I don't like a lot of stuff on my counters because I don't want to have to clean around it. But I have my oil diffuser here that I just sat in a little wreath. The wreath was not wide enough, so I don't know if you can see back here. I'm gonna try. You kind of can. I actually just cut the wreath with a, I don't know what it's called, those tiny little saws. It's like not the big hand saw, but it's like the really skinny blade one. I used that and just cut it, and it works great because then I can tuck my cord back there as well, and it just kind of fits inside. And then I've got twinkle lights that come on. They are on a timer. And then I just got this jar from Savers. These are the bells, the big ones that you saw me putting Rub and Buff on, and I just kind of sprinkled those in and about with the other ones. And then at night, the twinkle lights, when they light up, the light from that kind of glows over into the gold in the jar, and it's just really pretty. These right here I had last year, and again, yep, you guessed it, I put some ebony Rub and Buff on that and made them look very vintage and old, and I love them. And then over here, I just have this tree that I got at Hobby Lobby this year, and I just stuck it inside of a gold bowl that I also found at Hobby Lobby. And that's it. That is, oh, and there's twinkle lights on that if you couldn't see them. That is the only decor that we have in the kitchen. And then lastly, this is how the buffet turned out. You guys saw the branches over there already. I just added a couple ornaments. The green one is from Hobby Lobby this year. The other one is from a cluster that I got on Amazon last year or year before, I don't even remember. And then here is the wreath up close. And I did end up painting these. And the only thing that I do, for those of you that haven't seen a video talking about it, is I just get some acrylic paint. I paint it on there with just a regular paintbrush, kind of those craft ones. And then I just wipe it off with a paper towel, and basically it's just staining it. And then right here, I got a couple books from Savers, and I know this is gonna kill some of you, but I ripped off the outside of it so that all you can see is the books itself. It just gives it a really kind of rough, worn look, plus the books stand out a lot better on the black. And then I found this bell at Savers, which I thought was awesome because it just reminded me of the charity bell that they used to ring when I was little. Now it looks a lot different, but that's what I remember people ringing, and it made me think of that. And we are clearly behind, friends. All right, today is December 2. All right, we are finally getting it together. And that's that. Oh, I better show you really quick before I forget. Out here, none of my candles are on yet. Ooh, and it is chilly. I just have these candlesticks. They will go on a timer. This is just a strand of garland that I ran some garland Christmas lights. The garland lights are a little bit different. I got these at Walmart, and they come like in a cluster of 3. And then I just kind of wrapped, so I started over here, and I wrapped it in and around that. And then brought it up this way and just kind of tucked it into that vase. I found is it called an orb? I found that at Savers as well, and I think it turned out really good. I love looking out here at night and seeing the lights shining on the green and the red, and I'm not really a red person, but I really do like that. Lastly, I didn't do a whole lot over here in this space. All I did was swap out the pot or vase. I don't have a link for this. I found the vase at Savers, and then I did the texture on it. And then I found these little acorn branches at Michael's. And again, I kind of have the same situation with this candle right here. It is getting lost with all of the white. And so I think I may have to paint that as well. All right, friends, that is a wrap for day 2 of Vlogmas. Again, show some love if you enjoyed the content that you watched today. Ask all the questions down below for anything that I missed. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.